I've been looking around for salvation. I've been looking around for the truth. All around me I see frustration, and I looked all over till I found you. I sit and listen to your stories, and you're telling me, please don't worry. So lot in this world you should know, and love in life is where you should go. If you're looking for somewhere to go, if you're looking for someone to know, if you're looking for someone to guide you, then love in life will guide you.
Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world, and welcome especially to the very close Loving Life family. And just for those who are new to this channel, the Loving Life family are basically people who've been following our live streams and interacting for many months now. So you can easily become part of the Loving Life family as you get to know people, and we're a very, very happy family. Okay, first some admin. Please have Dr. Peter Hammond's wife, Leonora, in your prayers. She is in hospital on an IV drip as she has not been able to swallow anything, not even water. Leonora is being rehydrated intravenously. An hour ago, I posted a video on the fate of the white farmers in Piet Retief. They have been released on bail. The only place you will see this video footage on Loving Life is on our new platform, lovinglifetv.com. So please register there after this live stream if you have not already done so, and go and see what happened inside and outside the court in Piet Retief today. Okay, let's move on to the first. This is a whole new era in Loving Life. Tonight I'm talking to several Loving Life family members about their childhoods. This is going to be a free running live stream in which I will only participate if things get completely out of control. So I would welcome those who join us tonight interacting directly with one another. Now, let's keep it civil, guys. We don't want 10 people talking at the same time. Okay. And the other thing is that if you're not talking, I'd ask you if you know how to, just put your mic on mute. And then when you want to talk again, just take it off mute. That way we'll minimize the amount of background noise that's happening. Okay, if you have Skype, are known to Loving Life and would like to join the chat, please email me with your Skype handle and I will add you to the conversation. And my email address is homestays@gmail.com. If one of the moderators can just put that in the side chat. Oh, and while I'm just thinking about that, guys, if you're watching us live and you're actually joining us on Skype, please, with your live, make sure the audio is on zip, on gone, nothing, because otherwise it's going to come through on the actual live stream. Just be careful of that if you've got it on live on Skype, on the live stream. Okay, so getting back to people who'd like to join us, just email me with your Skype handle and I will join you to the conversation. Now, just a moment ago in the side chat, they were talking about the old Hillbrow. So I thought, well, let's first have a look at an old video of what Hillbrow used to look like in the 1970s and the 1980s, and then we'll get into the live stream. Here we go.
I can still remember first time I saw your face. My heart began to race. We were only children, planting seeds into the ground, hoping we were never found. Sonny, can't you see? You belong to me. You were my first love. You'll always be a memory. Time went and we got older. Felt your arms around my waist. My bike, it was your place. You were crying, but I was flying. Didn't know I caused you pain, but I'm sorry just the same. Sonny, can't you see? You belong to me. You were my first love. You'll always be a man. Together, always hand in hand. Our love forever. I'll never understand what I did. I let you down, girl, but now you found a life. I have found a wife, a first love I will always remember. Hope we will always be friends for eternity. Sonny, can't you see? You belong to me. You were my first love. You'll always be a memory. You'll always be a memory. You'll always be a memory.
All right, guys, there you had it. What a beautiful rendition with some memories there that I'm sure brought tears to some people's eyes. All right, let's get some of our Loving Life family members on. And first up is the lady who first suggested this idea. And of course that is Fiona Timms. Here comes Fee.
Hello.
Hi, Fee.
Hello, Scotty.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. All the better for hearing you speak.
Excellent. Well, it's lovely to have you here with us tonight. I can't see you yet, Fee. I just see the little icon.
Do you want? Okay, I'll put my camera on. I didn't know if you had too many people.
Oh, no, we should be okay. There you
All
go.
right.
Oh, I love the hat. Now,
don't you just?
I do. Now, while I'm
Everybody
getting the others on, would you like to share with us your first memories of life as a baby? Just some of the
yes.
first. I'll let you talk while I get other people on, okay?
Oh, by all means, yes. You carry on and I'll explain.
Okay.
The first thing I remember was the smell, the scent of her. And it was a strange wood smoke from the huts. And life voice. That's not me.
That's Rudy's coming in. Sorry, carry on.
You keep your socks out of my face, this one.
Hello, Fee.
Hello, Rudy.
Hat
Anyway,
on and makeup.
You haven't got makeup.
No, I say you've got a hat on and makeup tonight.
Why not? I've got things I have to hide, and I'll explain that later. I gave myself a COVID haircut with the kitchen scissors. And you've never seen anything more disastrous than that. So I've had to wear a hat ever since I go out. But anyway, while Scott's doing his thing, I'll just explain my first memories ever. And that was the scent of my nanny. She was Evelyn, and she was a Zulu woman. She couldn't have been more than 25, and she was nice and plump. And she'd tie me on her back with a shawl. They still do that, but not so much.
Good.
And then...
Hi, Charlotte. So,
Oh,
carry on, Fee.
Oh, carry on. It's beautiful, Charlotte.
It is. It is.
Isn't she lovely? No hiding under hats there. And that was the scent of my nanny. She was Evelyn, and she was...
Carry on, Fee.
Oh, yes. All right. I got intrigued in the other conversation. My mother made the house. We had 5 servants in the house. We had a cook, a house boy, and 3 women. And 2 of them acted as nannies when they finished the house. Well, they took turns. Well, they did their housework with us tied on their back. All right, I was got intrigued in the other conversation. My mother, she used to lull me to sleep just with the scent of slightly musky smell that Africans have, and I can't describe it unless you've been in nannies.
Okay.
On a very hot day in Durban,
Fee?
and lift.
Fee, we got a circus happening here now. So I'll just get everybody on, and then we'll just get some sanity happening.
First, I'm told to talk now and to shut up. All right.
Okay, I just want to introduce everybody. Nat, I can't see you at this stage.
Hi, Scott. Why not?
I just see a little icon. Now, hi, Steve. Good to see you here.
Yeah.
I think you've probably met everybody through the live stream in the past, but that's Fee at the top. Then you've got Rudy above you.
Scott, my camera's on.
Okay.
No, shut up. All right.
Okay. Now, someone's got
camera's on,
someone's got the live stream on. I can hear it in the background. Can you mute that? Whoever's got it on. I just see a little icon. Now, hi, Steve. Good to see you here.
Yeah.
That's
I
good.
think okay, I think that's you, Nat. Have you got the live stream on? But that's me.
No.
Okay. Let me just see. Someone's got the live stream on.
Scott, my camera's on.
Charlotte. Okay. Charlotte, do you have the live stream on? It's got the live stream on. I can hear it in the background. You mute that? You don't? Okay. Now, hi, Steve. Good to see you here. Peter. Someone, I think that's you, Nat. Have you got the live stream on? But that's
No.
Okay. Let me just. This is a great way to start. Okay. I'm just going to. Okay. I think someone's turned it off now. It seems to be much better. Okay.
Muzi was on. You've muted Muzi.
Yeah. I was trying to work out who had the.
Nee, daai ek sit doodstil. Daai gelede het ek lank.
Okay, Muzi, can you talk? I've muted you, but if you just unmute yourself, you should be fine. Hi, Peter.
Hello, Uncle Scott. Fine and you?
Good. Hi, Muzi.
Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Muzi.
Now,
Hello, Fiona.
who are we missing? We're still waiting for Dan Berryman. But
Wow.
I think we got everybody else. Alfonso. Where's Alfonso? Let me just see if I can get, here we are. Alfonso. Let me call him again.
This is a three-ring circus of note. Good luck.
All right. Once we got everybody on, we'll get some semblance of sanity, and we'll go around the room. And
Okay.
hi, Alfonso. Alfonso, are you there?
I can see him. I
Yeah.
mean, I can see he's joined.
Yeah. Alfonso, are you there?
Okay, I can see all of you. Can you see me now?
No, Nat, we still just see an icon, unfortunately.
Oh, jeez.
We got the IT expert here. Rudy's with us. Rudy, you got any advice for Nat?
You want to call me back, Scott?
I don't know how to when we got a group session like this. It doesn't matter, Nat. We know how beautiful you are. We can see the icon. Okay, I think we got everybody on now. We got everyone but Dan. I'll try Dan again a bit later. All right. Now, I just want to go around the room. We got Fiona Timms. Would you like to say hi to the Loving Life family?
Hello, everybody. All my buddies. Hope you're all well.
Rudy, would you like to say hello to everybody? Oh, you're muted, Rudy.
Well, I'm not muted anymore. How's everybody?
Charlotte, would you like to say hello to everybody?
Hallo almal. Ek hoop julle kuier lekker saam met ons.
Good to see you, Spinnekop. Steve, would you like to say hello to everybody?
Can you hear me there? Yeah, hello.
Absolutely, we can.
I'm Stephen Suntup out of Southern California. Beautiful day, 11 a.m.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Dutoy, would you like to say hello to everybody? You're muted at the moment, Peter. There you are. That's better. Now I can hear you. Hi, Peter.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Peter.
Hope we can share some stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love your hat. It looks beautiful.
Thank you very much. Made it
does.
myself.
She always wears exotic hats. Nat, would you like to say hello to everybody?
Hi, everybody. Goeienaand. It's 2:17 p.m. and I'm coming live from Canada.
And finally, Alfonso. Alfonso, would you like to say hello to everybody?
Goeienaand. Good evening.
Alfonso, good looking.
Hi, Alfonso. Oh, well, Alfonso, fees and love.
Already. Lovely.
Alfonso is a lovely man. Okay.
Thank you.
Now, Fee, we heard your first memories of life. Now, I'm going to go around the room, and I'll just start off. We'll go to Rudy. Rudy, what's the first thing you ever remember from when you were a baby?
Scott, many things, but most probably all the naughty things that I did as a young boy.
Well, share one of them with us.
Okay. The one day we were in the veld and we caught our neighbor's son and we tied him to the biggest tree in the veld and we went on our merry way and we forgot about him.
Oh my!
So, late that same afternoon, on our way home from our cave, we walked past the tree and there he was still tied to the tree. But this was now like 6 or 8 hours later, and he was in a terrible state. So we untied him and he ran home screaming. We could hear him as he was running home and so on. And yeah, well, of course, that night wasn't a pleasant night Anyway, years later, I bumped into this young man, who at that stage was 6'8" and playing and playing lock for Northern Transvaal rugby team.
Yeah.
So I bumped into him at University of Pretoria, and I walked up to him and I said to him, "Hello, Henny, can you remember me?" And he looked at me and he said, "Are you Rudy?" I said to him, "Yes." He said, the first thing he said to me is, "Do you remember the day that you guys tied me to the tree?"
Oh, wow. Now, Charlotte, what about you?
Good.
What's your
It
first
was
memory?
called the fishing with the family. My dad and my grandma and our 5 children, my uncle and aunt and their 5 children, the other uncle and aunt and their 2 children. We were 12 children and a lot of adults. Every second weekend we went fishing with my dad, and yeah, that was
Lovely.
very nice. Rugby, I used to go and watch the rugby as well, so that's the good memories I have.
Yeah. Stephen, what about you?
Oh, let me switch my mic on. Well, Scott, I grew up in Rembrandt Park, Lombardy East. And by the way, I've got my 90-year-old mother here as witness.
Hi. Thank you for joining us.
I'm 63 this year. I'm staying with my mother in California for the moment. Till I get
Hang on,
myself...
Steve. Steve,
Yeah.
there's no way she's 90 years old. No
90.
way.
Well,
She
90
looks
in
about
December.
65.
90 in
Yeah.
December.
Younger than me.
I thought that was your sister.
Well, it's like my sister now. We're living together.
Sorry, back to you, Steve.
Yeah, so I grew up in Lombardy East and in the Veld. We were the third house in Rembrandt Park, Lombardy East. And I remember growing up in the Veld, running kalpoort, no shoes. Our feet were like leather underneath. We played. I was first East Park. I was the only Jew boy in the Boy Scouts because my parents didn't want me to be left out amongst all my friends who were not Jewish. And even got Christmas presents because all my friends were getting Christmas presents. So again, we weren't left out, so we had to have Christmas presents as well. And yeah, we played tok-toki. We played one bounce with the milkmen in the Dairy Bell battery operated. And we played fireworks, shooting fireworks at each other. It was just great. They were building houses left, right, and center there. We were in the houses, in the rafters, in all the new builds. It was just an amazing, amazing childhood with my mother, my father, my sister, my 2 sisters, and my brother. The four of us, my parents, 6 of us. It was just one amazing time. And my neighbor, the Pelses, still live in the same house right there and then in Lombardy, in Rembrandt Park. They're still there, and we're still in contact with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to talk to your mum for a second. Do you
Pleasure.
remember this? Well, you would remember young Stephen as a little boy. Did you ever have to cane him? Because in those days, kids got caned. What was the naughtiest thing he ever did?
I don't remember what he did, but I've never, ever hit my children. I
Okay.
brought them up as best I can, but I could never lift my hand to my children.
Well,
But
what was the naughtiest thing he ever did?
you dragged me out of the pinball shop. The naughtiest thing?
No, I don't say my children were naughty.
I was very naughty.
Okay, Peter, over to you. What are your first memories?
Yes, Uncle Scott. First of all, if my mother has to die today, she's going straight to heaven because we were 4 brothers. And we grew up in a small town called Fochville. So I left there when I was about 21. And I think the most things that stood out for me is like, I don't know how many guys can remember voortrekkers.
Yeah.
So you had your little like beret and uniform and the whole thing, and you learn how to survive in the bush and that sort of thing. And Ketty Skit, just leave home early in the morning, go play wherever you want to, come back after sunset, no issues, just do whatever you want, and life was awesome.
Right. Now, Natalie, over to you. What's your first memories?
Well, my first memories were my mom. We lived in a flat in Johannesburg, and my mom was busy bathing my little sister, and she kept on insisting that I should stop running up and down. But, you know, I never listened to my mom. Imagine that. So I ran into the corner of the bed and knocked myself out cold, stone cold. And of course, we never had a telephone at that stage. So Mom had to grab my sister, wrap her up in a towel, go downstairs with me over her shoulder to go and call the doctor. And I mean, as she was calling the doctor, I sat up straight and on her shoulder and said, "Mommy, me wants a sucker."
And I bet she gave you one. She's happy to see you're still alive.
Oh, yeah. She gave me one, all right.
And I guess that's a trick you didn't repeat, though.
No.
No. Alfonso, tell us your first memories.
Hello. See me?
I can see you, Alfonso, yeah.
Okay. It's my microphone. Loud and clear?
Yeah, it's good.
Is it better now?
It's good. Yeah, I can hear you fine.
I just want to make sure. I grew up in Hartenbos.
Alfonso, we seem to be having... Yeah, carry on, Alfonso. Okay. Alfonso seems to be having a little issue there with his internet. So rather than wait, we'll just continue on. Fee?
Yes.
Now, you came up with this brainstorm of having this Loving Life family chat. So I'm going to surprise you and put you in charge. I'd like you to go around the room and ask people questions, and you know, just off you go.
Thank you, Scott. Well, I know Nat better than I think I know. Well, most of you know Nat. She is under that angelic demeanor and face and everything else. She is naughty. You should hear the jokes she tells. Now, own up, Natalie. You tell the jokes that make a sailor blush. And that's what I love about you, because nobody would expect someone as angelic looking as you to come out with these things. But
never.
In return, I've given you a few of my own, so we're not quite even yet, but we have exchanged some filthy stories.
We sure have.
And we will keep those to ourselves until we need them.
That's right.
Going around the room, the gentleman, I don't know him, in the black fleece.
Oh, that's Peter Tutoy.
Peter, we've not had much to do with each other. Oh, we have, of course we have. You're the one on the side stream. Cheeky devil.
Yeah, that's Peter.
Yeah. Not sure he can hear us. No. Can you hear me, Peter?
Me? Never.
Yeah,
Not me.
Yeah, you've been quiet on purpose. Now, Peter, tell me the most naughty thing that you can recall any time between birth and your late teens. I mean, through your school days, apart from tying a friend to a tree, which I think
that was Rudy.
That was Rudy. Sorry. Of course it was Rudy. Who else? Yeah.
It's Rudy.
Okay, Peter, over to you.
Can I just interject here? When Peter was born, the doctor slapped his mother.
Rudy, am I supposed to say she enjoyed it? Gee, Auntie Fee, that was setting the house on fire about 3 times.
Setting the house on fire.
How did you
Yeah,
do
I
that?
had my days too.
There was anything from yes, see, in those days, like we know Cremora milk powder. In those days, you had this whole mix of like milk powder, like in 10-kilogram bags.
That's right.
And I used to the one day I decided I'm going to farm now. As a child, I'm going to farm.
You
And
could have found with Cremora.
yeah, so I chucked this whole 10-kilogram of milk powder out on the floor.
You
And I made my
cows.
in the kitchen, in the kitchen.
Cows.
So I was throwing all this milk powder out on the floor, and my brothers, I made them to be cows, and they had to like graze on this milk powder in the kitchen. And yeah, well, I mean, it didn't go down well after a while. And what they did was they got really hurtful of this, and so we started cleaning all this up, and we had a back door with a whole lot of steps going, up towards the kitchen.
Yeah.
And my mother came back from groceries, and she had this, like in those days, I mean, you had like 2 bags in each hand, and there was like another 20 bags still in the car left.
Yeah.
And she walked up there, and she just had this whole big Victoria waterfall coming down the steps there as I pulled the hose pipe into the kitchen, and I washed the whole kitchen out.
You were hosing out the Cremora. Oh my God.
So and then anything from setting the house afire, shooting my brother with a splinter in the leg with a air rifle. We used to shoot doves with ketties, and had made a fire in the backyard, and we bright them on sticks. No, it's naughty as hell.
Brian, what?
Pigeons?
Chickens.
Pigeons.
Pigeons.
Yes.
Did you get them?
Yeah, we shot them down with our ketties.
Visited them, got them.
Yeah, and we used to make yes, we ate a lot of them. We even ate. I'll still eat it today.
Really?
Tastes a lot better than KFC. I can guarantee you that.
Anything tastes better than that.
Now, Fee, let's ask that question around the room. Let's go to Nat. Nat, what's the naughtiest thing you ever did at that age?
Oh boy. I invited all the neighbors over, and we were playing fireman, and I had this little Wendy house, and my mum and dad had gone to fetch friends of theirs from the airport, and when they came back, the backyard was just engulfed in flames. I had set the Wendy house alight.
Oh, well done. Well, how did you do that?
Pardon?
How did you manage that?
With matches.
Well, yes.
Very practical. Okay. I'm gonna invite Dan to come and join us. He's just Skyped me.
He's good fun.
And I see someone did send me a Skype request, but I actually need a Skype handle to actually add you. Okay, I'll just get Dan into the... Now, guys, you're going to have to behave yourself. We've got a pastor with us now, okay?
Not Dan. He's naughty.
Do you hear that, Fee?
You haven't heard half of what goes on in the side stream with Dan.
Hi,
Why are you
Dan.
wearing-
Oh my gosh, what's that over your face?
Then I never had time to shave, so I thought I'd put this COVID mask on.
Where were you wearing that last?
Now let's just go around the room. Dan, you've
Yeah.
met Fee, who's talking at the moment. And
hi guys, how are you all? Who do I see there? Nat and Rudy and Peter. Hi, and
Alfonso.
Fiona. Hi, Fiona.
Hi, Dan.
and Charlotte, you know Spinnercop?
Yes,
Charlotte.
I do. Is that Spinnercop?
That's Spinnercop with
Holy
the with the long hair.
Isn't she beautiful?
Okay. And the 8 long legs.
Now, Dan, just to let you know where we're at, we're talking about childhood memories, and we were just going through the naughty memories that different people had experienced or were involved in. Now, seeing that you've just joined us, what's the naughtiest thing you ever did as a kid?
You got the whole night.
Go tell us, come on.
One at a time.
Okay, well, way back, 72 years ago, when I was 3 years old, my dad was transferred to Ndola in northern Rhodesia, and my mom took me along with her. She joined him later, and we travelled by train. And I think the first incident was on the train. There was a lady sharing the compartment with my mom. And my mom was pregnant with her twins. And after about half an hour, she said, "My girl, I'm sorry, you're a lovely girl, but I can't spend any more time in this compartment. I've got to get out of here because this little fella is out of hand." Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we're listening.
Okay. Anyway, so she moved out of the compartment, and eventually we got to Kitwe and Ndola, and we were staying with some folk in a boarding house, and they were very religious people. They were Catholics, and this was my first meeting with the Lord. And as we walked into the house, there was this huge crucifix up against the wall as you came into the house. And I grabbed my dad's hand and I said to him, "Who's that?" And he sort of went all pious and he said, "Oh, that's the Lord Jesus, my son." And apparently I said, "Well, now I'm going to get him."
Now, Muzi and Kosi, are you here with us? I see your little icon, but I see the Skype.
Yeah.
Muzi.
I'm still here.
Okay, I'm sorry. I hadn't realized. I just suddenly saw your icon appear. Now, Muzi, you've met most of these people, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
Everybody meet Muzi. We haven't got Muzi's camera on, but he's with us. Now, Muzi, while we're talking, you've listened to some of the subject that we've been talking about here. Tell us about the naughtiest thing you've ever done as a child.
Oh boy. I wasn't much of a naughty child. I'd say the naughtiest thing I ever did that got me smacked by my mom was, as she was driving, I shifted the gear, and I got smacked, and I never did anything naughty ever again. But
yeah, believe that.
But I will say, as a child, the most naughtiest thing was feeling good when, I think I was 3 years old, feeling good when my mom would run over some of the students she used to teach with her mirror because they used to make fun of my red shoes when I was like 4 years old.
Ran them over.
Well, she would hit them with like the side mirror. Like she'd ask me who was bullying you, who bullied you, who made you cry, and I was like, oh, it's that guy. And yeah, maybe she went too far, but I felt good that my mom avenged me.
Clap them
You
with
know,
the car. I think that's brilliant.
they were
That's
very
really
naughty high school
good.
kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say that's the naughtiest thing I've ever done.
Now,
Wow.
Steve Suntup, what's the naughtiest thing you ever did as a kid?
I'm just writing down, Scott.
Oh, you got a list, have you?
So many things. I was a very regular customer at Roy's for Toys with the stink bombs and the buzzers in the hand and all these things. So I used to love Roy's for Toys to cause a little bit of mayhem with friends. As I said earlier on, as part of the Boy Scouts, we had built ourselves a little pondoki covered in bush so you couldn't even see it. And every time cars came past, I was about 11 years old, we would throw berries and eggs. I spend my pocket money on eggs and firecrackers. As the cars came past, we used to lob these eggs at the cars, and my father could never work out why there was always eggs, because we threw them from the opposite the road in our garage, always broken eggs. Yeah, we had so many things. I used to have a motorbike on the sly when I was 17 years old. We worked at Steers, and the money from our tips, we bought ourselves a motorbike, and used to hide it around the corner and stick our helmets in the bush and then go home as if it's all innocent,
Yeah.
And of course, we used to throw darts at each other until one dart got and just to stand. I just turned around and ran. I thought, shit, I'm getting out of here now.
I know.
But it was so much fun. We used to phone people at random and say, hello, are you on the line? And they say, yes, I'm on the line. So you better get off, the train's coming. So we did all sorts of mischievous things in my day. I've always been naughty.
And your mother said you never did anything naughty, I think I remember.
Yeah, I remember that. One of you isn't being truthful.
She's only just finding out now.
So what she's saying is the only thing she knows is that I used to steal the car on the weekends. I used to come back from Hillbrow at 12 o'clock by curfew. By 12:30, they were sleeping and I was gone back to Hillbrow in their car. And then, of course, if we slept at my mate's house, my mate those days was in Highlands North. Those days we had single beds in our rooms. We would sleep head to foot. You didn't want to, because head to foot was the way we slept, and then we'll steal their father's car to go to Hillbrow. Yeah, lots of. I don't know, clean fun. You do that today, they'll probably lock you up, but we got away with it. We had lots
in
of
those
fun.
days, it was much easier, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was much easier. We had fun. The Boy Scouts, the mates. Yeah, good fun, man.
Now, Charlotte, what about you? What's the naughtiest thing you've done?
Well, Scott, first, excuse my English. I will try my best. I wasn't naughty at all. I was bye, but I can remember once I stole a slice of bread. We have to. We were supposed to eat just brown bread, but I took a slice of white bread and I go hide myself and I want to eat it. And while I was eating, I opened it to say, "Oh, lekker," And when I opened it, I found a brommer in there.
A brommer? What's a brommer?
A fly.
Oh,
a green
yeah.
fly.
Maggot.
Exactly. I didn't take another bite. Otherwise, I would have had a fly sandwich.
Now, Rudy, I've left you to last because I know you're a naughty fella. Now, tell us what the naughtiest thing you've ever done in your young years is.
Probably the naughtiest was building chlorine bombs. But serious ones. We used to take the pool's chlorine and mix it with J's fluid and stick it full of nails and goons and marbles and whatever, wrap it in newspaper and then put it under the big steel dustbin and see how high we could shoot the dustbin into the air. But that was like, when we were 8, 9 years old, we were busy, we were naughty. and I didn't go, it didn't get quieter as I got older. I bought my first car just before I turned 17 because my dad was anti-motorbikes and I had enough money. So I said to my dad, if you're not going to allow me to buy a motorbike, then you got to let me buy a car with my money. So I started driving around in my own car before I, even being close to getting a learner's license or a license. And yeah, so and what happened in that car is legendary till today.
Yeah. Now, 1 minute here. We haven't done Scott.
Oh, damn. I thought I was going to get away with this.
No, I'm in charge.
All right. Well,
Put me in charge. You do it.
Okay, I'll tell you what happened to me at boarding school.
Must be the second naughtiest in the room.
I'll tell you what happened to me at boarding school. This was at Cornwallis. Now, coming from the bush, from Tanganyika, I'd never seen one of these troughs, where you go and pee in this big long trough. I'd always had a little, you just go to a normal toilet. And the first day I was at boarding school, I went into the toilet and I saw this long trough and I didn't know what it was, but I saw a guy standing there with his pants down, peeing onto this trough. So I thought, okay, well, that's what you got to do then. So I went and I stood next to the guy and I took my pants down and I was having a pee. And he was about third year at Cornwallis. It was my first day in boarding school. And this guy gave me a bit of a clap over the head, just kind of showing his authority. And when he did that, I moved around and I peed all over his leg. This guy was so upset that he started crying. I mean, we were little kids. I was 6 years old at the time. But he started crying and he pulled up his pants and he ran out and he went to the headmaster and he said, this boy peed all over my leg. I was taken into the headmaster's office and caned that same day for doing that. I'm serious. That's something I remember so well.
Accidental.
Of course it was accidental. But it's boarding school. Yeah. Now, Fee.
I went to boarding school. Yes.
Fee, back to you. What topic are we going to discuss next? With childhood memories.
The nicest thing you could remember that you ever did as a kid, with your family or without your family or with your friends, the time you had the most fun.
Well, we'll give Rudy, Steve, and Peter a bit of time to think about that because I think they'll need a bit of time. Let's start off with Charlotte. Charlotte, what's the nicest thing you ever did for someone?
From Scott, I'm a caring person. I like to help people anyway. I'm always helping people. I used to nurse. I'm always helping people. So there's not a specific thing that I could say that's what I've done. I'm here to serve people. This is my purpose on life, is to
But
help
as a
people.
youngster?
So, not really, Uncle Scott. I had a bad childhood until I left home. Struggles, what. So, not really.
Right.
Not as child. Not as a child.
Right. Okay. Now, Muzi, what's the nicest thing you've ever done as a child? Muzi?
Nicest thing I've ever done as a child. Oh boy. My generation was just filled with ice cream and PlayStation. So, it's a far cry from what all of you guys went through, climbing mountains and everything. So I'd say the nicest thing I ever experienced as a child was getting my first PlayStation, honestly. And I know that's rather bleak, but at the time it was like, finally, I don't have to go play soccer outside because I don't like soccer, So, yeah, that's the nicest thing for me.
Okay.
But
Now,
Mercy,
Fee,
can I?
carry on,
Yeah,
Fee.
I'm just going to jump in here and say that if somebody offered me an ice cream or a climb up the mountain, I'd rather take the ice cream. To me, that would be far more pleasant.
Oh,
If
okay.
I was, say, 7 years old.
Now, Fee,
Mm-hmm.
tell us
Yes.
what's the nicest thing you did as a youngster.
Oh my goodness. All I can think of is naughty. Naughty is the most dangerous thing. I think going to the circus. Every year the circus came round, with Boswell Wilkie's circus. And they'd stop at all the little dorps along the way. They came on the railway line. And we knew the circus had come because on the open trucks with all the elephant cages and everything. And then the whole farm would pack up. Dad would put us into that hideous Pontiac, which fitted 6 of us. And the tractor and trailer took all the farm staff. And we'd go to the circus. And I'd never seen clowns or even dwarfs before, but there was a dwarf called Tiki the Clown.
I remember
I'm
Tiki.
sure some of you remember Tiki.
I do.
And Tiki, he was such a good clown. He had us in fits, especially when somehow they arranged that clowns kept climbing into a vehicle and not coming out again. And then finally, all the doors and the engine bonnet flew off and the boot flew open, and just people came pouring out of I don't know how many they packed in there.
Wow.
And to me, that was absolute heaven. To see adult white people behaving like that was pure heaven.
Right. Dan.
So,
Yes, yes, Scott.
What's the nicest thing you ever did as a young man or a child?
Well, you know, the things that stand.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, we've temporarily lost Dan. Okay, we'll come back to Dan. Steve, let's go to you.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the nicest thing, Scott, which I think, and it's going to be very emotional, so it might break down a bit. But anyway, it is what it is. But before we do that, I'll just 2 quick naughty things. You mentioned your pee trough at the school you were in. So when I went to the army, I didn't go to many public restrooms or public bathrooms. And next minute I'm jammed in with thousands of guys in a battalion in the army. And I saw these troughs at the bottom. I thought, wow, that's a big pee trough. So I just go peeing in there. And as I'm peeing, the guys are coming past laughing, and I can't work out why they're laughing until I realize. And then the last quick thing before I tell you my other story is you all remember the Kalami Ranch Hotel. I was a cadet manager there and spent 2 years working there. And one of my missions was to work in the kitchen. So I worked in the Kalami Ranch Hotel kitchen for 6 months. Smoke a bit of weed. And of course, we were busy with our weed in the kitchen. And next minute, the chef walks in. So there goes the weed in the minestrone soup, to get rid of it. So I don't know if the customer.
Delicious.
It was a good soup.
Now, can someone just hang on? Okay. Dan, can you just join the group again? I can't actually take your private call coming through because then I lose the group. So if you just on your Skype, Dan, if you just look at Skype, and you'll see on the side there's a group. You'll see the Natalie Quinn, Steve Suntup, etc. If you can just rejoin that group and you'll be back in again. I can't take your call separately. Sorry, Steve, back to you.
No problem. So I'm sure that we had a lot of patrons that night in the restaurant who were smiling. Anyway, so one of the nicest things, Scott, is quite emotional, and you've heard me, was actually to give a person a new life, a new lease on life, and get them out of the gutters they were in. And you've all heard me talk about my late daughter. Anyway, a year ago. So Monique was not my blood daughter. I took Monique off the streets as doing tricks and
sorry guys, I just got it.
committed suicide, her mother, her father, the whole lot. And so I took her in, and she, sorry. So she take every Friday to the psychologist for 2 years. I'd sit outside there. Anyways, a long story short, the psychologist found me, said, Stephen, Monique's fine, and she built a life for herself where she owned horses and breeding dogs, and she built and well respected, became a reborn Christian. So this was who I call my daughter, and she called me her father. But the best thing I could have done was to give, the nice thing was to give her life, which I did. And she was a very well respected person in our community of Walkerville. Sorry for the emotions, guys. It is what it is.
Don't apologize.
But it was a beautiful time, and she gave me a beautiful time. So over to you guys. Back into you guys, Scott.
You turned her life round.
Wonderful daughter to Stephen. He looked after her, and and you can't believe what a lady she came out of. She was wonderful, the way she worked and everything. She worked very, very hard.
Right.
Anyway, you got it. You asked for the most beautiful. You got it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Steve. Now, sorry, Dan, I couldn't take your Skype call because I'd have to leave the group. That's why we had to get you back in the group. Now, Dan, you're going to tell us about the nicest thing you did as a kid. What was that?
Well, I think I can think of two things, and both of them related to aircraft. I was airplane mad, and I remember at the age of 6 years old, tiny little boy. My dad took me on my birthday. He took me for a flip in a old de Havilland Mosquito. I don't even think there are any of them around anymore. But I went for a flip, and the guy who flipped me asked, would you like to do some aerobatics? And I said, yes, of course. And he did aerobatics for about 15 minutes. When he landed and I got out of the aircraft, I got sick.
Fair enough.
And the second one was, and if there are any aviation enthusiasts, they might be quite jealous to hear this. I actually went for a flight when I was 13 years old in an old short Sunderland, the South African Air Force Sunderland flying boat.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, Peter, what's the nicest thing you did as a young man?
Yes, Uncle Scott, that's probably the most difficult question you asked me tonight. There's not much of them. We were naughty all the way. It was probably playing chess on school. There was not much of that moment. But I think if between me and my other three brothers, I think probably the nicest thing I've ever done was always had their back. We were like glue in a carpet,
Yeah, no, that's
we were
great.
always together. So, yeah.
Now, Alfonso, welcome back.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can, Alfonso. Alfonso, what's the nicest thing you did as a young man?
Or a kid.
Sorry, say again?
What was the nicest thing you did as a young man?
Well, I kind of remember. Sorry, my line is very bad here.
Well, we have interference anyway.
Was someone
I can hear
doing the
now.
twist?
Yeah, we did. Repeated du toy. No, okay. Alfonso,
Question?
yeah,
Yeah.
the question was, what's the nicest thing you did as a young man?
As I said earlier on, I grew up in Hartenbos in the Western Cape, Mossel Bay. And
Lovely.
going to the sea while I'm growing up is obviously one of the best things I can remember.
Good fishing there.
Now, Rudy,
Yeah,
what
the
about
ponds.
Rudy? What about you?
Scott, I'm just generally a nice guy. So
Okay.
no, like Peter said, one tends to remember the naughty stuff. Naughty, but nice stuff is probably what you remember most. Cooking condensed milk in a pot until it became caramel and then eating. Things like that. So yeah, something like that. But also another nice but naughty thing is you guys were talking about the tray where the gentlemen urinate in, and I remember us connecting a old farm telephone system to the urinal, and then hiding behind a corner and winding it up until somebody came to stand there, and as soon as they let go, when when it reached the bottom, it would shock them all the way up. You're talking about it going all over the place and whatever. That's what happens when you get a shock up the gazoo. So.
Oh no!
Now it's coming out. Now we know the real Rudy.
Oh man! Oh no! I didn't ask for the dirtiest story. I asked for the nicest thing that had happened to you, and you tell me about a shock up the wazoo. Oh, you are incorrigible. We almost asked Mersey. We mustn't forget Mersey. Somehow my camera's done something odd. It's divided.
I think we did Muzi. Muzi was talking about the
ice cream.
The game machine.
PlayStation.
Yeah, PlayStation.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you the
Yeah.
nicest thing that I think I did, and it's funny because it overlaps with Dan's experience, because my father dealt very closely with a game ranger. He invited us around to his game park. It was a huge game park. It was called the Little Ruaha Game Reserve in the southern part of Tanzania. And he had a small plane. And he took us up individually into his plane. I was about, 5 years old at the time. And we actually dived down low over herds of elephant and watched them scatter. And that was just an amazing experience to see that, because obviously the plane freaked them out. But yeah, that's one of the memories that I'll never forget.
Yeah, fantastic.
Wow.
Now,
have we done everybody now?
I think so. Have we left anybody out?
Yeah, me.
Come on, Nat, tell us.
Well, I think my best childhood experience was definitely when we used to go out to like our little wild lodging we used to have as a family. It would be my aunt, my uncle, my cousins, and our family. And we'd always have to be careful of the monkeys because they'd slide down the roofs and pull all the grass out. And you'd have to lock the bathroom windows because they'd come in while you were having a bath.
Wow.
It was awesome. We'd see all kinds of wild animals. We'd see elephants and cheetahs and giraffes. And I just loved that. That was definitely the best thing that I ever remember from my childhood.
Wow.
Right.
Sounds amazing. Now, Fee,
It was.
back to you. What's our next subject? Yeah.
What's the most dangerous thing you've ever done as a kid? And I will start that one.
Okay, after you, Fee.
The Umgeni River rises on our farm, and it travels down several quite strong waterfalls and ends up going quite slowly and meandering. We'd had a big flood. It wasn't the 87 floods, because I must have been about 7 or 6 years old. But I went down. We were never allowed near the river on our own, because you could be washed and then washed and end up at Outer Anchor in Durban if the river was running really hard. But I decided to go down and have a look and see what the river looked like now. So I get to, there's a nice shortcut, a bit like an oxbow lake, where there's a bend, and there's the height of a 3-story building of newly washed away cliff. So I thought, I'm not going to schlep all the way around and climb, go outside. So I decided I'd take a shortcut up the cliff. Well, I was doing well. I was going halfway up, bare feet, just shorts, shirt, bare feet. And I grabbed a little branch, and I was about 2/3 of the way up, and the branch came out in my hand.
Oh, wow.
And down I went, and I landed in a pool a fraction bigger than I was. I like you're near brush with death with that man-eating lion. That was my brush. My poor guardian angel must have just thought, oh,
This child is beyond reproach.
Exactly. And I never told a soul. I came home dripping wet, slunk into my bedroom and put on dry clothes, and didn't tell a soul until now. But I'd have been in pieces.
Yeah.
Smashed to bits.
And the worst part of your experience is that you were in an isolated area. So if you'd broken your back or something, no one would have known.
We'd have had to go to Howick was our nearest doctor, 50 miles away.
Wow.
And that's just a GP. Yeah. No, I'd have been in pieces. But they say only the good die young, so I'm all right.
Now, Alfonso, what's the most dangerous thing you've done?
There's a lot of things, but there's one thing I did do. I think it's naughty and dangerous. I can't explain everything because it's going to take too long. But I did set a little park alight when I was very young.
Did you tell anyone who did it?
No. I ran, me and my cousin actually. He actually is the big mouth one. He ran home crying. I asked him to help me to, because the grass was very dry. So you lit it, and then you
put it
step
out
on it to put it out.
Yeah.
And eventually, I couldn't get it out, and I asked him to help me. He laughed and he ran away. So I got home. He was the one crying, and eventually my mom said, "No, let's go and put it out." So there was like boulders next to the house at my aunt. That was in Dispatch. I don't know who of you know Dispatch.
Yeah.
And anyway, so my mom come and help us, and all those workers at the boulders, they bring on water. We didn't call the fire brigade because we put it out ourselves. So that was maybe a dangerous, but also the naughtiest thing I did in my life.
Right.
Pretty
Now,
bird.
Dan, what's the most dangerous thing you did as a young man?
Yeah, there's several, but I suppose the one that stands out in my mind is, as youngsters, 13 years old, living between Vanderbijl Park and Sasolburg, there's a bridge, Badrift Bridge, and it's high off the water. It must be 50, 60 foot off the water. And yeah, we used to go there. And one day we went there and decided we were going to jump off the bridge. And but everyone was too bangga to actually jump. And I was supposed to be the daredevil and everything. So eventually I took the first jump. Yeah. And yeah, that was quite hairy. I can remember that. I still get cold shivers when I think about it.
Wow.
What did you land in? Water or mud?
In water. In the Vaal River.
Oh. You guys.
Okay.
Really.
Muzi, what's the most dangerous thing you did as a kid?
Honestly, the dangerous things I've done were never by my own choice. I was just there and forced to do it. So as a child, I went through a lot of camps at school. And so I'd say in grade 6, we all went to this game reserve called Chukudu. And I'd say the most dangerous thing then was being part of a group that had a game ranger who decided nothing bad could ever happen to us until a random elephant started charging at us. And I thought that was the end, honestly. I just gave up life immediately, you know. But to our surprise, as a trained elephant stood in the way of that one.
Wow.
And actually stopped it.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was one heck of a miracle. Otherwise, we were done for. So I told myself I'll never go to the game reserve ever again. Yeah.
You shouldn't have been out of the vehicle if there were elephants around. Or
No,
you
we were
should have
in
had
the
a
vehicle.
gun.
It was still coming.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That was a curse brush.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Nat, what about you? What's the most dangerous
Oh,
thing
yeah.
you did?
My dad had bought us a swing, and it had like a pipe at the top that was hollow, and the wasps had built a nest in it. And my dad had told us to stay off the swing, but listening like I always did, I was swinging on the swing, and all these wasps came down, packed onto me, stung me like several times. That's probably the most dangerous thing I ever did in my life.
Wow.
What?
Now,
Always grumpy.
Someone shared a screen with us. I can see everybody sitting in like in seats now. Who did that?
I'm suddenly
probably me.
Quarters in a row.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Now,
Uncle Scott, I was playing the settings there, but
okay, all right. We know it is. It's Peter.
Wasn't me.
Now, Peter, I was about to turn to you. I left you and Rudy to the end because, look, I mean, you guys are just naturals for doing dangerous things. So, tell us what the most dangerous thing you did, Peter.
Yeah, Uncle Scott. At one stage in my life, I was so naughty that my parents, like one day, they just had enough, and they drove me to a boarding school in Magaliesburg, and they just like went in there, suitcases packed, and they dropped me off at the front door, and they opened the boot, they offloaded the luggage, and they told me, this is it. This is where you're going to stay for the rest of your life now, and that sort of thing. And they, and they actually drove off. And so, when the danger comes in was about 2 days later when I pitched back at home in Fochville. And I hiked, and I was
They actually left you there.
I was about 16, 17 years old, and
They
I
weren't
hiked
just
all the way
threatening.
from,
They went.
and I hiked all the way from Magaliesburg to back to Vogel. And I got back home and I said, you're not getting rid of me that easily. So,
So they took
yeah,
you back in?
so I slept 2 nights in like a bush somewhere. And the one night was like probably under like almost like a rooftop thing or whatever. But yeah, I hiked for 2 days home. And I said, and I told them, you're not getting rid of me that easily.
You were like a homing pigeon. You just kept coming back.
Yeah, no, can't cut my wings, eh?
Now, Rudy, what about you? Now, this is going to be interesting. What's the most dangerous thing you did as a young man?
Come on, the truth now.
Yeah, I've done a lot of dangerous things in my life. I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie, so you know I've got 35 skydives behind me.
Nice.
The Blaukrans River Bridge bungee of 216 meters, all sorts of zip lines. But probably the most dangerous thing I've done was I was taken for a flip while I was in the army in an Alouette helicopter, and the pilot did a stall turn with us about a kilometer up. Dan will know what a stall turn is. Basically, the pilot pushed the helicopter nose up in the air as far as it would go. And, you know, then when it stalls in midair, when it can't go any higher, then you can feel the helicopter slide back on its tail. And the next thing he would do is head, you know, with the front of the helicopter straight down to ground. And
I love it.
Whilst I was sitting with my legs hanging out of the open side door of the Alouette helicopter. So that was quite something. But I think that sparked a lot of my adrenaline stuff, you know, because that was just fabulous.
Yes, a stall turn and a fixed wing is one thing.
I know how that feels.
Wow. Now, what about you,
I
Charlotte?
did with a jet trainer.
Uncle Scott, not as a child, but I've done a few dangerous things, but not as a child. The most dangerous thing was catching somebody with and grabbing me, slip onto the police. That was the most dangerous thing I've done. I was actually in the newspaper. I've got a thing here.
You've disappeared.
This guy had come back. This guy, so I took him at the arm and called the police. And so that was the most I've done. Didn't think about it twice. I just grabbed him and took him to the police.
Yeah. Now, Peter, can you put us back to the mode we used to be on? Everybody's got a whole lot more.
Uncle Scott, I for some other reason, I managed to get us into that. And now I'm busy on my cell phone, and I'm busy on my second screen here, my third screen, and my laptop, and I'm trying to figure it out, and I don't know how to do it, so I'm working on it.
We're stuck in this, are we?
Can I turn your back on them for 1 second and then trust your stuff?
Well, we know we're going to put in the naughty box, don't we?
Exactly.
Peter.
Listen, I'm usually in the corner.
Now, Steve, have we asked you this question yet? I don't think so.
Not yet, Scott. Well, I've recollected myself now, back to normal. Yeah, I've been in a lot of dangerous situations throughout all my life, and especially in the biking world. And one, I'll give you one of them because there are quite a few. But if you remember, there's a road past Uppington going to Kakamas and Karasburg towards Springbok.
Right.
And on that road, there's a very big sign that said speed testing and maximum speed 250 kilometers per hour. Now, you've got to have a special license for that because the road is about probably 100 miles or 100 kilometers long plus, dead straight through the desert. There's no people, there's no animals, there's no nothing. It's just dead straight. And all I remember is I've done that road so many times on my hundreds and thousands of kilometers of road trips through South Africa. And that one day I remember riding with my hand on the throttle, full taps. I was doing about 250 kilometers an hour for about 50 kilometers non-stop.
Wow.
So it just takes one little speck to happen and it's over. But I'm here to tell the tale.
Well, that would have only taken you about 15 minutes, or not even.
It's quick.
Yeah.
Wow. So when you go from 0 to 250, it's pretty fast. But when you're riding at that speed, it probably feels pretty normal.
Yeah.
And as I say, no animals, no cars, no nobody, no nothing. Just desert and one dead straight road.
Wow.
Lovely.
Now, is there anyone we haven't asked this question for? Because I think we've covered everybody, haven't we?
Have we done Moosey again?
I think we have. Muzi, did we ask you the question about the most dangerous thing? I think we did.
Yeah, it was the elephant coming for us.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
the elephant.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well,
Sorry.
I'll tell you the most dangerous thing I did as a young
Yeah.
child. Okay, my girlfriend lived 2 houses from me. Okay, and we're good mates, and we had this huge argument one day, and I was sitting there stewing in my bedroom. It's about 9 o'clock at night, and it was a misty night in Greytown, and I had a little 50cc motorbike. And it was quite cold, so I put in a whole lot of layers of tracksuits and stuff like that. And I just got on my motorbike and I drove out the front door. And the roads around Greytown, especially on the way to Wienan, are very, very windy. And I got on this road and I was going too fast, and I came around a corner and I came off. And I luckily I had my crash helmet on, which cracked. I basically went head over heels. And, when I hear of the experiences you guys have, and especially with Fee, where this is why I thought of that. If you actually are in a position where you can't actually recover yourself, people don't know you're there. And here I was on this misty night, crashed off the side of the road. No one would have known I was there. I could have died if I'd broken my neck. Luckily I didn't, but I was, I was in so much pain. I got my bike together, and luckily it started, but the front light had gone. The headlight had gone. So I literally got this little torch, put it in my mouth, and I had the torch on, and I was shining it on the little what are they called? The little lights that come up. What are they?
I don't know.
Oh, these little
cat's eyes.
Cat's eyes, that's the word. The cat's eyes. So I was driving along with this little torch in my mouth, following the cat's eyes. Very little traffic on the road, thankfully. But every time I hit a cat's eye, that the bloody thing bumped, and I was right through my back, and and just like others here, I never told my parents. I came back, and my tracksuits were torn to bits, and I had grazes all over myself. But wow. That was hairy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your guardian angel would be.
Oh, he worked overtime. He worked overtime.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Fee, what's the next topic we're going to discuss?
I think. What about your first kiss? Just the background, the backstory, and then your first kiss.
Peter's in hysterics. Come on, Peter, you kick us off.
Yeah, sorry for that reaction, but oh no, man. Okay, well, the first time I danced with a girl was like when at my matric farewell was the first time I danced with a girl, and that was also the first time I kissed a girl. And no, it wasn't Lady Gaga.
No, wasn't. Was it your toe clash by any chance?
No, Auntie Fee, we normally threw bricks at the Tokelos. So some put their beds on it, we threw the bricks on it. So,
no. No wonder you have so much trouble with it.
Now, Charlotte, tell us about your first kiss.
My first kiss. Yo, we don't kiss and tell. I don't kiss.
Very good answer.
But were you at a dance or something like that?
No, next to the river.
Next to the river.
I tried to. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Me and the other guy had a date, and I ended up there with my first kiss.
Okay, now you're blushing madly, but that's okay.
It's the bikie on this pink. I don't blush.
Nat, tell us about your first kiss.
Oh, I was about 15 years old, and I was at his house, and his parents had gone out to church for the night, and we were about to kiss, and his parents came home and caught us. So yeah, that was my first kiss.
It's nothing worse than being caught in a compromising position, is there?
No, nothing like it.
Now,
Is that
Dan,
shoes off or pants off?
Dan, tell us about your first kiss.
Scott, it's too long ago for me to remember because I started kissing when I was around about 5 years old.
Ah, okay.
And I haven't stopped.
That's a diplomatic answer. All right. We're talking about the relationship type kiss, but that's okay. I can understand. Okay, Steve, tell us about your first kiss.
Well, Scott, you can see I tend to do everything to the extreme. So I think I was about 13 years old, and it was a mixed party, boys and girls, of course. And I think that kiss must have been ongoing for about 5 hours. We both couldn't believe what was happening. It just it carried on and on and on. And the funny thing is, I mean, I haven't seen her now for probably, 13, 23, 30, 40, 50 years.
Wow.
And about 6 months ago, all of a sudden on Facebook, she came up and said, "Are you Stephen Suntup that I remember from school?" And I said to her, "Yes, how would I ever forget my first kiss?" And then I told her I rode her some motorcycle clubs and motorbike clubs, and then she never ever replied again. Yeah. I'll never forget that night. But I was 13 years old. Yeah.
Wow. Now, Alfonso, are you with us?
I think he's left.
I think Alfonso keeps going out.
He's left.
Muzi, tell us about your first kiss.
Okay, well, I guess this is somewhat embarrassing, but mine was actually when I turned 21, and yeah, that was my first kiss, and it was cool. It was something you'd read about in a storybook, like a little fantasy thing. It was fuzzy and warm, and there were cookies and cakes. It was just like, wow, what a cool environment to be in. This cake and cookies everywhere. So yeah, it was great.
So now when you see cookie or cake or have it, do you remember that kiss?
Sorry, I got a funny mind.
Yeah, I do. Especially when it's cold outside.
Lovely.
Now, have we covered everybody?
No, me.
Okay, Fee, tell us about your first kiss.
Well, we didn't get out much. We lived on the farm. Parents couldn't be bothered to get us an education because we were girls. So Eventually, I went to boarding school, and we had a school dance called the fourth form dance. I think the Michael House boys also had a fourth form dance. We were 16, and the only boy I ever knew or had come across was a boy I'd seen at a polo tournament. His dad played on the same team as mine for Moy River. Anyway, I thought, who on earth am I going to ask? So eventually I plucked up the courage and I wrote him a letter and I said, please will you be my partner at the fourth form dance? And to my amazement, he said yes. Anyway, I'd been riding that morning barefoot as usual, and my horse had trodden on one of my toes and really almost taken the nail off. It was so painful. I know. I can still feel it now. And that night we got dressed up in our stiff petticoats. Do you remember the stiff petticoats? And maybe you don't. You probably didn't wear one. But anyway, dressed up to the nines and those slightly pointy toe shoes, which already hurt like hell. But this boy, clearly he'd never danced and he'd never ever held a woman in his arms. And I don't think he'd had any practice, but all I had was heavy breathing as he counted the steps of the walls. He looked down at the steps, at the floor. He was counting 1, 2, 3, 1, quite loudly in my ear. And he had great big, I don't think he had
Hang on a second, Fee. Fee,
yeah.
I'm sorry, there's someone's got some noise in the background. It sounds like a TV or something.
Who's fighting?
Oh, is that Peter? Peter, I thought it'd be you. Okay. All right. Back to you, Fee.
Support my story, Peter. I'll get you for that.
You're in trouble, Peter.
Anyway, my tokolot.
I'll take you to a Bonga Delta. We'll go and watch some elephants.
Okay. I'll get one to chase you. So here I've got this heavy breathing counting in my ear because it was a slow waltz. And then he stood on my sore toe. And oh my goodness, that was the most painful and horrible experience. But then he decided to kiss me during this horrible experience. And he had acne, and he hadn't been able to shave around his acne, so he had stubble, which of course is cool now, but it was a horrible combination of heavy breathing, counting, stubble and acne, and someone tramping repeatedly on my sore foot. That was my first kiss.
That sounds pretty painful.
My
first kiss was on my 18th birthday, and I mentioned the girl that I had a fight with, and I'd had my eyes on this girl for a while. I invited her around to my birthday party. We had a small group of people, about 6 or 8 people, and we just danced and had a good time. And we were sitting right in front of the record player, and I put on, I think it's Lobo, Time in a Bottle. You know that song?
Oh, yeah.
Time in a Bottle?
Very much.
And anyway, as the song started, I reached over and I kissed her. We kissed all the way through that song,
What?
Time in a Bottle.
You too.
And that's it's a lovely memory, because every time I hear Time in a Bottle by Lobo, I think back to that first kiss.
What, with the 5-hour kiss and you, it makes my first kiss turn into really rather a nightmare.
It sounds beautiful. I remember just talking about bottles. We used to play spin the bottle quite a lot.
Oh, that game, yeah.
Ah, yes. Yeah. Fee.
Scott.
Yeah, Rudy.
I noticed that you haven't asked me when was my first kiss.
Ah, okay, Rudy, when was your first kiss? Sorry, I thought we had done everyone.
Yeah, let me put it this way. My first serious kiss was in 1977, and the band ABBA had brought out their song Angelo, and we were on tour, on a school tour. I think it was the Standard 5, Standard 4, Standard 5 tour, and yeah, so of course, on the back seat of the bus, where the naughty children hang out, I had my first proper kiss on the bus.
Proper, how long did that go on? 5 hours.
He's got an obsession with 5 hours.
It definitely wasn't a 5-hour kiss, but it was a good one.
So now, who's going to hold the record? Have we done everybody for the kiss?
Yeah, I look, long after my first kiss, I used to often just spend a whole afternoon, not sort of like one big long kiss, but kissing. I love kissing, but snogging. I guess you could call it snogging. Fee, what's our next memory subject?
Do you know, I can only go back to naughty ones, because of course I took the top of the cream separator off. That's you read that chapter out.
Yeah.
When the nuns didn't allow me, but were bullied into me churning the cream to separate the milk.
I remember that well.
The lid off. Yeah. You guys come on, be imaginative.
All right, Stephen, you pick a subject for memories. Come on.
A subject with memories, my word. Yeah. Overseas trips, travel,
I can do one.
Backpacking.
Yeah.
Dan, what were you going to say?
Well, I was just thinking back on the good old days and at the economics in our time. You know, when I bought my first motor car, which was a Volkswagen Beetle, petrol was 35 cents a gallon. 35 cents for 4 liters.
Wow.
That would be enough just to stab behind your ears these days.
$4.70 a gallon here now in the United States. And that's
packet of cigarettes was 19 pence.
Oh, because it was pennies, wasn't it?
Pennies, yeah. Those were pounds, shillings, and pence. Remember those days?
Tickets too.
Wow.
Yeah, 6pence, 1 shilling.
Yeah.
Pocket money was 2 shillings a week, and then you had enough to buy.
We never got pocket money. We didn't know where to spend it.
Well, you never had pockets, that's why.
Now, Charlotte, you've got the top dog. How many animals do you have in that house? Because there's another dog now sitting on top of your couch. It seems to be the prime position. 5 dogs. Wow.
Yes, the last one the puppy is two months old. I got 2 months ago because the people around here steal our batteries out of our cars. So I've got this dog to be outside.
Chase them away.
I've got 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so, because this is a scary place I'm staying. People like batteries.
Are they stealing the batteries out of your car in the garage?
Yeah.
That's cheeky.
My car's not in the garage, but they stole a lot of our people in the streets car batteries, but they clip the wire. So you have to get a new wire and everything.
Jeez. Mad.
Yeah, if you don't keep your eyes open, they steal the sugar out of your coffee.
Really, no?
Goodness.
I remember pocket money when I was small. We used to get 10 cents for every year that we were old per month. So When you were 10, you got R1 per month, pocket money. And with that, you could buy a lot of stuff. A dinky toy car cost 32 cents. A packet of crisps cost 7 cents. So you could do a lot with R1 at that stage. And so on, yeah, 10 cents per year. And when you got your increase, you knew you could buy an extra packet of crisps.
Yeah.
I'll give you one to
All
talk
those
about.
Japanese bubble gum.
What about my first salary in 1977 was 40 Rand a month.
Wow.
Mine was 90 Rand a month.
Oh, you're doing well.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember my
1968.
father-in-law sent me or showed me his pay slip, and it was like 47 Rand a month, and with that he used to pay his bike something like
Don't look at me.
for them. Yeah.
That's besides the army, which is about 26 Rand a month.
Yeah.
50 cents a day, 5 shillings a day.
5 shillings.
Yeah, but a beer cost 45 cents when at that time, you know, so
Yeah, you've got to bring things back into proportion, haven't we?
Yeah.
Didn't you just love dinky toys?
Yeah.
I
had
used
so
to
many.
ask for them as
Suitcases
my
of
Christmas stocking. And then I'd go and share them with the infants in the kraal. I'd share them out. We'd each have a dinky toy. And then we'd go down to the workshop and put mafuta, you know, axle grease. One of them had to climb under the Jeep and get some axle grease, and we'd put axle grease on our dinky toys. So it was, they were huge fun.
You know what I find so interesting here is that on the screen we've got people who are sort of middle-aged, going to, you know, the old farts like me and Dan. But then we got Muzi and Kosi, who's a youngster. And we're talking about playing with dinky cars, and we're talking about all these sort of things. Now, Muzi, his thing was a PlayStation. You know, it's amazing how life has changed. Muzi, tell us about your childhood, you know, with the PlayStation. Was that like the big thing for you, was it?
Yeah, before the PlayStation came, of course, there were toys based on popular characters on TV, like the Power Rangers and stuff. But as soon as everybody got the PlayStation around the neighborhood, well, you know, you'd feel left out, and you might go visit a friend and like, wow, I want to play all day, but you don't have one.
And you go home to your mother and you say, I'm the only child in the district that hasn't got one. And you'd have it for 3 weeks, and then something else would come along. I know, that's what my boys did, just that. Sorry, I stole your story. Some things don't change.
Go ahead, Muzi.
Like I just begged my dad for 3 years to get a PlayStation, and then I finally did. And it was great. You know, life back then was so simple. Things were cheaper. I know this is early 2000s and more expensive than the 70s and whatnot, but I remember just a Streetwise 2 from KFC was like 19 Rand, and it was so delicious, you know. And you could buy 3 of them because it was so cheap back then. Now you have to think twice, you know. And on top of that, games today is the cost of someone's salary. So it's nice, you know, reflecting on the good old days. Things were more simple. All in all, my childhood was fine. It was great.
Ours were even cheaper because we'd build a tree house, and that cost us nothing.
I just want to say that we can see Nat now. Hi, Nat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
She's
did, but you
materialized.
can see me.
We can see you now, yeah. After all this time.
Yeah,
She
I don't know what
disappeared when it,
happened.
I know what happened. You disappeared when it was talk about things that were
Kissing.
done that were naughty.
And
And
kissing.
You vanished. Conveniently.
Let me interject a little bit here. And I was never really good at school. I left in standard 8, and I was got my call-ups, and that was my entry out of school to go to the army. But what I was good at those days was jippering the pinball machines, yo-yos, and dingbats. Those things I enjoyed. I don't know if you guys ever played yo-yos, dingbats, and pinball.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I did.
We love clay latter.
Okay, now guys, I've thought of a subject that we can talk about with the childhood. Let's start with Rudy. Rudy, what was your favorite toy as a child? And then we'll just go through the room thinking about your favorite toy.
I had a yellow, sorry, not yellow, a blue Tonka truck. Now, a Tonka truck was a steel toy truck about the size of a loaf of bread, or maybe a bit bigger. But that was my favorite toy because it could tip and it could do everything. Yeah, you know, we played with little cars and we made whole little towns with little houses and whatever. We used to keep ourselves busy in the backyard the whole day if we were not out on our bicycles or in the veld or whatever. So
yeah. What about you, Steve?
Well, it was one that I made myself, actually, and I remember painting it red and black. It was a soapbox go-kart, and I spent many hours going down Queen Alexander Road in my go-kart those days.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah, steering with my feet. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. What about you, Dan?
I think it was a toss-up between a Meccano set. I had, I think, a size 5 Meccano set, and I also had a Marklin electric train set. So those would probably have been my favorites.
Wow.
Right. What about you, Nat?
I had this worm and it was called lots of legs. And it was yellow and it had all these different colors, but it must have had like 20 legs on it. That was my favorite toy.
Wow. How old were you then?
Oh, I must have been about 6 or 7.
Okay. Charlotte, what about you?
Uncle Scott, this doll here that I've got here, my grandma made for me when I was 10 years old. This was my favorite toy.
Oh, lovely.
Oh,
lovely.
Yes.
So you got it all framed and everything now?
Yes.
Fabulous.
It's in a box.
Yeah.
What a toy, yes.
Fee, what about you?
Me, my favorite toy or toys would be to go down to the river where the fans, the small boys, same age as me, used to know where the best mud was to make clay oxen.
Oh, wow. That would have been
And
great.
we used to make them, and then we used to poke those big 3-point thorns, the one that can go through a tractor tire. Those Voss thorns. And we'd poke those in as the horns. And then we'd try and make a little trailer, but they were never very successful. But we used to dry them all and put them out on a rock to dry. And then come back. And the next day, of course, they just crumbled up. So we just kept making more. And we had a lot of fun with those. We used to have ox fights. And we used to throw them at each other.
Yeah. Now, Dan, Dan, have we asked you yet? I don't think so.
I'm having a senior moment. Ask what?
What was your favorite toy as a young child?
I told you, you having the
I'm having the senior moment, exactly. Well, there you go, you see. The old farts in the room are showing their true colours now.
Yeah, it was a Meccano set.
That's right. Now, Muzi, Obviously, yours
Yes.
was the PlayStation, wasn't it?
Well, before the PlayStation, I had a favorite toy. It was a custom-made Spider-Man action figure, and I actually played with it until I was 11 years old. Until a friend of mine came over, threw it in the air, it fell, broke into a million pieces,
Oh no.
and
Oh.
I was very angry.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Did you
that
get
was my favorite toy.
I can imagine you being very angry about that. Peter, we haven't
Yeah.
asked you yet, unless I might having another brain fart here.
It's one of those brain farts. It smells nice.
I don't know about that.
No, yeah, ours was, well, I actually had a couple. You used to go to the Shell garage, and then you could buy, they had like these red and overalls, like mechanical overalls. And you could like buy one of them, and then, well, I don't know what you call it in English, but in Afrikaans we call it draadkarre.
Wire cutters.
Yeah, and yeah, and you could play around with those, and that would keep you like busy. And we used to turn wire around them, and we built antennas and all these accessories on them with like roof racks and suspensions and coil springs underneath, and we turned it into this massive like 4x4 vehicle.
Wow.
All out of these draadkarre. And then the other favorite toy I normally used to have was scorpions. They were, like the ultimate when your friends comes and visit you and play there by your house, then see who can grab them by the tail and without showing your wits, see if you can be man enough to grab them. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I find so interesting, guys, is that here you've got men and women, and the women had basically favorite toys which were the sort of thing that women traditionally have, like dolls and stuff like that, and the men were into building trucks and having a truck, and you look at the world today, what they're trying to force down the kids is making young boys walk around with dolls and girls walk around with trucks. I mean, it is absolutely shocking what's happening today. I see you think it, what do you think about that, Dan? I saw you had a big reaction to what I said.
Yeah.
I had to laugh. It's just so sad, Scott. When you walk into a little girl's room, I built dolls' houses for my grandchildren and so on, if they were girls, and aeroplane models for the children if they were boys. And now I just noted total confusion in the very, very young ones. It's so sad.
Well, it's actually criminal what they're doing in the schools today. It really is.
Yeah, yeah. I think maybe if I can say this, and Fiona might like it. I thought it was very interesting, the topic that was chosen for tonight, because my sermon on Sunday, the first half of it, is all about the fantasy of our childhood.
Wow. Well, there you go.
It's just quite amazing how God works. That this topic is so much in line with what He said to my heart for the Sunday service.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, Dan, because there have been several times where you've had a service that you've given me, and we're just about to put it up, and something happens that basically that service talks to someone in the community. Yeah. It's amazing how that just happens.
Yeah.
And just so everybody knows, Dan's sermon will be going up on midnight Saturday night or early Sunday morning. And have you ever had such a big congregation, Dan? Because you get up to 1,000 people viewing your sermons now.
Yeah, never ever, Scott. You know, I was a small town rural minister, and if I had 60, 70 people in my congregation on a Sunday, it was a lot. So when I see figures like 1,000, I think, wow, that's absolutely amazing. I don't think all of them listen to it all the way through, though, but at least I get 1,000 hits.
Well, look, I have to tell you, Dan, that I'm sure that your sermons have inspired a lot of people. And I'm sure you've brought a lot of people to God through your work on the Loving Life channel. I have no doubt about that.
Well, thank you, Scott. Those are lovely words. It makes you, you know, when you get to a certain age, you think, oh, man, it's time I went off to Buffalo and started doing a bit of daisy farming. But it's good to know that while you're still around, you're worth something.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, look, Nat is here as well. Now, she looks after our forum. Can you tell Nat how you're going with your PDFs? Because obviously we'd like to get those onto the forum, and the PDFs being your sermons.
Yeah, Matt, yeah, I've been sending you the PDF for that service for the Sunday, and one old one, and I'll continue doing that. So each Sunday I'll send you the service for that Sunday and one of the old ones from the past.
Fantastic.
And I make sure they get on there. And of course, me having to put them on there, I read them too. And they're wonderful. And I get inspired by what I'm reading. It's absolutely amazing. And I thank you for that.
Well, that's lovely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Now, Dan and I met, about through an email. How long ago was that, Dan?
It was at the beginning of more or less the beginning of the COVID thing, about April last year, I think.
Yeah, and from that we've developed a wonderful friendship, and I've had Dan on live streams in the past, and he's been doing sermons now for the Loving Life channel for I think about a year or close to a year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about a year.
Yeah.
Dan, I think I remember meeting you about a year ago, because you had that idea to do a prayer circle using aircraft.
Very much like a walk, but it was to fly around South Africa in a microlight and cover the whole country with a ring of prayer.
Yeah. And I was starting to set it up, and then COVID came along.
Yes, that's it.
They put a kibosh on the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't part of God's plan then. It was up in my mind and not in God's mind.
Yeah. Well, look, I see all these faces, and I know you all so well. Probably the person I know the least is Peter, but you know, Rudy and I spend a lot of time on Skype and talking. And Stephen, I've known for a long time. We've had a few live streams.
Mostly around midnight, Scott?
What's that, Rudy?
Mostly around midnight to after my time,
Yeah. No, Rudy's doing a fantastic job. And Nat's doing a fantastic job with the forum too. And that's really coming on really well.
He went for a rough patch last week? You could not get something. And the language, oh my goodness. I've never heard someone, not even a woman. But you were entitled to, because it was a problem that would not become right. It just didn't.
Yeah. Well, it was not resolving itself.
Did you get it sorted in the end?
I had a French accent last week.
Yeah, you did.
I'm not going to ask why.
Yes, be careful of this lady, because she'll tell you. Oh,
Tell us why, Nat. Tell us why you had a French accent last week.
Oh, it was that forum that got lost, Scott.
Well, you got
Yes,
it
and
back. You recovered it.
I got it. Oh, I got it back through the grace of God alone. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, well done.
Oh, it was a nightmare. I ended up sitting on the phone for like almost a night and well into the morning with the people that had transferred my website over. It was so frustrating.
Yeah.
And then eventually they fixed what they had done wrong, and there was the forum.
Yeah, it's so easy. It's like just pressing a button or ticking a box and bang, it's up again. Now,
well, they had assured me that when they had moved over the website, my forum would show up on that side.
Yeah.
But because it was they were using different software and stuff, it never showed up.
Right.
So I transferred it back again, and I found a copy of the old forum. So luckily I had the old forum. Thank heavens.
Yeah. Well done.
Mm.
Now,
Well,
Charlotte Smith, you're the dark horse in this Loving Life family, and I'll tell you why. I mean,
The spinnacle.
Yes, exactly. I remember every time poor old Winston Coetzee comes up and sings, and out in the side chat I see Charlotte Smith. I want to hear Spinnakop. That's why we call you Spinnakop Smith now.
What a beautiful lady. Oh.
Yeah, she is a gorgeous looking lady.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, Fee.
Ask her what is her favorite joke, Scott?
Okay. What's your favorite joke, Charlotte?
Oh, Uncle Scott, okay, I'm going to say it in Afrikaans. But after that, I have to greet my telephone is nearly pop. It's on 9% left. Okay, are you ready?
We're ready, yeah.
I'm gonna tell it in Afrikaans. Die man en vrou ry eendag daar in Pretoria in Engeland met hulle karretjie en die rooi cap stop langs hulle en die man vra vir hulle, "Waar kom julle vandaan?" Die vrou sê vir haar man, "What is he saying?" Hy sê, "Nee, hy wil weet waar kom jy vandaan?" Die man antwoord, "Nee, ek kom van South Africa." Die man in die geel cap sê, "I know South Africa. I came from South Africa. I work there." Wat sê hy, my man? Nee, hy sê hy ken vir Suid-Afrika. Die ou in die geel cap sê, "I had the worst sex ever." Wat sê hy, my man? Hy sê hy ken jou.
Now, Muzi and Kosi. Muzi.
Uncle Scott, sorry, I have to go. My telephone is going to die now, but I will see you on the side chat.
Okay, well, look, we'll be wrapping up this live stream, I'd say, in the next 20 minutes. But thank you so much for joining us, Spinnakop.
Got to also mind to hit the road. Got things to do.
Okay, totsiens.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Yella. Bye.
Bye.
Now, Muzi, you and I go back a long way as well. And, you know, I've had you a couple of times on our live streams. And, you know, we've now got you as a contributing channel on lovinglifetv.com. And I just want to say that you have a remarkable intellect and insight on things, which I find very, very unique. And I know you've had a really tough time in the last couple of years, especially with COVID-19. But, you know, you're really appreciated as a valued member of the Loving Life family.
Very much.
I appreciate it, Scott. And honestly, I've never been part of a community of this degree, honestly, ever. I never saw it coming. I never saw it possible. as you know, with the climate that is South Africa now. So being part of something such as this, the community of truth, of love for each other's neighbor, it's an honor, and I truly appreciate it. And today things were kind of going upside down, so just talking about our memories and hearing everybody's good times really washed away some of the pain, so thank you for having me today. It's been great.
You and I, anytime, you know that.
I believe that you and Fee spend quite a lot of time talking, which is great.
It's good for both of us.
Yeah. Now,
it's good medicine.
Talking about Fiona Timms. Okay, now, one of the most valued people in our community is Fiona. I mean, she is a unique personality. She's had an amazing life. She's faced amazing challenges with her health. And she's a tower of strength. She is incredibly generous and loved by the Loving Life family. She is such an important part of our community. Fiona, I'm blessed the day we first made contact, and we've got a special playlist now with all your works that you've sent to me that I've recited. And just so everybody knows, soon Fee is going to be sending me videos where she actually recites stuff that she's written. Do you want to talk about that, Fee?
Yes, I've already got one ready.
Okay, fantastic.
You read out chapter 1 of Okavango Diary,
and
that was a flight there, interesting flight there. The second one I described Maun to you.
Right.
The 10 been through her. The third one I've finished, and that's my arrival at Camp Sarrow and how the guests behave among themselves. Not very well, I might point out, and meeting the staff and learning how to run the camp. And of course, the animals start, creeping in. And I finished that, but I didn't want to do it. Today was too much for me. I couldn't do it and this. But I want to also not have too much of me on the channel. So I'll wait maybe a day, maybe 2, and then put out chapter 3. It's much easier because I've been adjusting my work to suit you so that you can take breath and, you can see where the breaks are on the lines. But for me, I just do it on the fly. So I've had to do no preparation whatsoever.
Well,
it's much easier.
You do a great job.
Oh, thank you.
Now, I'm just going to go around the room because we're basically... Alfonso, are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm still struggling with my signal.
Okay. Now, Alfonso, we missed you out in a couple of questions. Tell us what your favorite toy was as a child.
Sure. This Scaletica. What do you call it? That little cars runs around.
Scale Electrics.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's giving away my age now.
I think we can tell.
Someone changed the scenery. We are sitting in a classroom. Rocks.
That's Peter.
That's cool.
Peter's
I didn't know you
playing.
can do that. Amazing. I thought, what's wrong with the screen now?
No, Uncle Scott, this time it was... No, this time it was not me. I'll never go back to school.
Oh, that's a lovely dog, Alfonso. What's his name?
Oh, it's Dakota. It's her. She loves me to bits. And the other one is Duchess, but Duchess is sleeping. Here's a sleeping head. We're yet jealous of each other.
We got a bit of jealousy happening here.
Yeah.
So what your your favorite toy was Scalextrics?
Yeah, but I want to tell you guys something. Someone mentioned about the game farm. I was working on a game farm in Mossel Bay, and there's one evening I was visiting one of the family members' guests, and I was not in the mood to drive home, so I slept in the game lot on the farm, and it was a little golf. And about 4 o'clock in the morning, I woke up with the car shaking. So the two rhinos were passing me, and they were. I was lying so still. You know, a rhino is as big as a little golf. You know.
Yeah.
So that was my most, what do you call it?
Dangerous
Breathtaking
moment. Yeah. Did you see that video of a guy in a car that drove up to a rhino in a game park, and the rhino took offense and it started ripping into this car? It actually turned the car over several times.
Yeah, they are strong. They are very strong. I'm very lucky to be alive.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the guy in that car, but he didn't look too happy. His car was a write-off, that's for sure. Yeah.
No, I was lying very still that night.
Yeah, wow. Okay, now, guys, I'm going to wrap up this live stream. We've been going for over 2 hours. It's been an absolute blast. I've had a great deal of fun. I hope you guys have had too.
Yep.
Scott.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Scott?
Definitely.
Go ahead, Nat.
I have a joke for you.
Go, tell us.
What do you get? What do you get when you play Shay Corsten records backwards?
I have no idea.
Poiky course recipes.
What's it? What was it?
Poiky course recipes.
Now you see what I mean. She says
now, talking about recipes, Charlotte is now putting up her recipes on the forum, and she's done boboti, and she's done a couple other recipes, and I'm gonna try some of those recipes. But look, I'm flat out just frying an egg. Okay, I'm a typical bachelor, so doing boboti is going to be a heck of a challenge.
You put a boerewors recipe. I'm going to get my butcher to make some up.
Yummy. I love boerewors. All right.
Scott, before we go, can I make a suggestion?
Please go ahead, Rudy.
I suggest for a next live stream that we talk about the years before TV, listening to the radio, the stories on the radio and the music programs, and you know what we did before there was TV in 1975, I believe.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a topic that we can pull out as well.
Yeah. Okay. Look, I just wanted to address the side chat. Guys, if you've enjoyed tonight's discussion, just family chat, please put one in the side chat. And if you think that it wasn't something you enjoyed, just put 2. Let's see what the community have to say. All right. Now, I'm going to go around the room, and seeing that this whole idea is Fee's idea, I'm going to get her to speak last. But just to wrap up, guys, is there a message that you'd like to just give to the family or to people who are watching this video? I'm going to start with Peter. Peter?
Yes, Uncle Scott, you're putting me on the spot tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, after what you did to my screen, this is called the naughty box.
Oh, well, I mean, it worked out awesome. So, and then, Rudy, thanks for fixing that.
But I think it'd be all right.
He's frozen.
Guys, stay positive. It's you know it's tough times, and it's hard to keep everything together. And I think if everybody looks deep down back in towards the inside of yourself, you'll realize that it doesn't matter what you go through, that God is with you, and you can your guidance will always be there. So don't worry what tomorrow brings, because tomorrow brings its own worries. So stay positive, hang in there, do the best you can every day. Doesn't matter what life hits you with. Nobody said it was ever going to be easy. And if my mom had, if I know what I know now, I would have probably flunked matric another 12 years. So stay positive and keep with it. Love you guys, and it's awesome being part of you guys.
Thanks, Peter. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, just for the record, everybody, and a lot of them said one. In other words, everybody loved the live stream tonight. So we'll continue with this. I'll speak to Marlene and see how regularly we'll do them. Now, for those who would have liked to have been on the live stream tonight, but I didn't have their Skype, if you can just send me an email with your Skype contact. I know someone did send that, but I had no way of actually making it work once we'd actually set the session up. So if you'd like to be involved in future discussions like this with the Loving Life community, please send me your Skype contact. I'll add you to the Skype contact. And when we have another discussion, just let me know you'd like to be part of it, and we'll get you involved. Okay, just continuing around the room. Alfonso, is there something you'd like to say to people just in wrapping up the live stream?
I think all of us can make a difference. So go mad and go make a difference in this world.
Right. Okay. Go naked.
You're wearing a mask.
I think I must get you to talk to Pastor Dan about that. I think he'll have other views. Now, Dan, is there something you'd like to say to everybody just in wrapping up?
Well, now I can just tell you a joke. You know, there was this fellow walking down the road, very, very, very drunk, and two nuns were coming towards him. And as they got by him, one walked around on this side and one walked around on that side. And then he stopped and he said, "Now, I wonder how she did that." Okay, we'll think about it. Fiona, I've found a tocolage for you, eh?
You've got a what for me?
I found a tocolage for you.
A tocolage?
You did?
Yes,
Oh,
I'm sending her. Yes.
Oh, good. 'Cause I'm breeding them now. I'm serious. You can't have too many chocolates. Abattoir.
You go. Knock them down.
You like her. She's got 8 legs.
Is that the spinnacock?
Yeah, I call her Charlotte.
She's not a chocolate. She's sweet. Mine's getting out of hand. He needs a woman to calm him down.
I'll send us one of mine over.
Okay. Make sure it's had its COVID shots. All right. Otherwise, he'll be running.
Do they have to wear a mask too, do they?
I don't know. They'd eat them off. But
well, if you knew where the nose was situated, you wouldn't let them.
Okay. Right.
I'm not going to ask why, but
no, I've got a Tokalush farm going on here. A bit like somebody else from Mora Dairy Farm.
It's not inside, it's on top. Remember that ad?
Near the top.
Now, Steve, is there something you'd like to say to people just in summing up this live?
Yeah, well, as you know, I'm in California right now. I with my family. So in the flesh, I'm in America. Virtually, I'm always in South Africa. I love South Africa. Listen to 702 LM Radio, and of course, out of all the YouTube channels, Scott, yours is #1 for me. It's the one I haven't got much time and yours I always watch every day.
That's great to
And
hear.
yeah, it's just great to be involved with all you guys. And thanks for inviting me today. Much appreciated, man.
You're very welcome, Steve. And we hope to see you in future on these types of discussions.
Yeah, you let me know.
Nat.
Hi. The one thing we are in control of every day is our attitude. There's no use living in the past. We're going to forget about the past. 5 minutes ago was the past.
Yeah.
And thanks for inviting me today. And thanks for involving me and making me part of this family. And thanks for having me on this live stream.
Well, you're a very important part of the family, Nat. And I just want to, as I traditionally do, I just want to say that you have just become a channel hero. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Very good.
Now, Muzi and Kosi, is there something
Yes.
you'd like to say to people in wrapping up?
Yeah, everyone, thank you for hearing my story. And Scott, thank you for your channel, because as a young person, especially in this climate, when your future looks bleak and, you know, it looks like the devil has stolen your future from you, you don't really feel like you exist anymore. Everything you worked hard for is now gone or pointless. But to be part of this community and to be part of your website where I share information, people actually listen and you know, sometimes give feedback. It shows that my existence, well, it shows that I still exist. It shows that I wasn't just born to suffer. I was born to give something, you know. So in a whole country that's rejected me and what I stand for, I'm grateful that there's you, this Fiona, and everyone else who has an ear, who has feedback, who is kind, you know. So I'm truly, truly grateful, and I hope the channel goes on as long as possible, you know, because it's really brought comfort to probably thousands of us in the world.
Thank you, Muzi.
Yeah.
And look, I need to tell you that the plans are, with obviously we're transitioning off YouTube to Loving Life TV, and this is where Rudy's playing a crucial role in the whole thing. But the plans are to actually get other presenters to come in the future, rather sooner than later, so that the workload will be less on me and other people can come in and put up videos, and like the contributing channels that we got going. This is an area I'm hoping we can fast track, because I'd like to see about 10 or 12 contributing channels in there. And our next step is we're actually looking at email broadcasting programs, because we got thousands, literally thousands and thousands and thousands of people who've registered on Loving Life TV. And what we're going to do is we're going to send out a daily email to everybody who's on our list of the videos that have been put up by contributing channels, by myself, what's new on the forum, all those sort of things. So people get this daily email and they can just go and click on any one of those links and have a look at that particular bit of information. So it's going to become a very powerful source of information and marketing. So that's the next step of where we're going. Now, Rudy, would you like to talk about that and then just give your comments and wrapping up?
Yeah, about the notification system, traditionally sending out multiple notifications or thousands of emails from a website has to be done through a service like MailChimp or something like that. And it, you know, the more people that you have, the more expensive it becomes. But we have found a solution that's going to cost us a couple of pennies, that is able to send out thousands of emails. So your notification system is coming up very shortly. Scott and myself have talked about it. I have told him the good news that we can do it very, very soon. So yeah, that is as far as that is concerned. So that is really coming out soon. The other thing is, in closing, what I want to say is, life works in mysterious ways. And with me building the website, I've had the pleasure of coming into contact with a lot of people, Musi, Nat, and so on. But, now building these contributing channels, I spoke to the people from Vrouwenkrag SA day before yesterday because, they'd sent material through for their contributing page, but it was just a lot of Word documents and stuff. There was nothing, no visual elements, no photographs, no videos, no whatever. So I took it upon myself to contact them, and I went and had a look at their website, and their website is a total shambles. So I offered to them that I will take over their hosting costs of their website, and that I will be building them a website too. At no cost. So, like I say, these contributing channels opens up doors for all of us, and I'm hoping with my contribution there to also make a difference as far as these difficult things that Vrouwenkrag SA has to deal with. The people have seen the live streams about the abductions and the people being sold and whatever and so on. So I'm hoping to make a difference there as well.
Fantastic. No, you're doing great work, really. We really appreciate that. Now, there's one person we haven't asked yet to just sum up the live stream, and that's Fee. And Fiona is well known to everybody on Loving Life, and I'm thinking that we should call our community chats, seeing that Fee came up with the idea, I think we should call them Fee's community chat, and then we have the subject. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I hope it doesn't go the same way as the Tackies did.
Well, they're still doing their job, Fee.
I know.
They're still doing their job. And they were the lifesaver for those two young men.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, Fee, over to you, just to wrap up the live stream.
God, if it wasn't for you and Marlena, we wouldn't have Loving Life. We wouldn't have something that I look forward to. The moment I open my eyes in the morning, and I think I used to have a very bleak life, nothing to look forward to. Now, open my eyes and I think, yay, for the live stream tonight, I've got to finish off a piece to be read out now by me. I've got some reading to do from Scott's channels, and I only did one job that Marlena does a million of, and it's not easy. I mean, I have very cooperative people getting Rosie and Miles together. They were very helpful and as I say, cooperative. And oh my, I take my hat off to her as to how valuable she is to this channel. But without you, Scott, there would be nothing. Because we just wouldn't organize ourselves properly. But you were put into shape, and I applaud and admire and respect you for that.
Thank you, Fee. And I just want to say that we had a request to go out with that wonderful song by Winston Coetzee, Hier bly ek Boer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up this group chat now. So take care, guys. And if you go and watch us live, you'll hear we're going to go out with Hier bly ek Boer. And then I'll just do the final summary. And then I'll leave the side chat open for a few minutes.
Right then.
Okay. Take care, guys. And thank you so much for joining us
Bye,
tonight.
everybody.
Awesome chat.
Bye, guys.
Cheers,
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Scott.
Okay. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Scott.
Bye.
Good night.
Cheers, guys.
All right. There you go, guys. That was our first community chat. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I think everybody else did. I'm going to go out with Hier Bly Ek Boer as requested by, I've forgotten who it was in the side chat, but I think it's quite relevant. So here we go.
Meer as 61,000 van ons voorvaders het op die grens vir ons gesterwe, sodat ons vry kan wees. Die is my land, die is my reg, hier is ek boer. Van stof is ek gemaak en sal ek terugkeer. Die Bybel is die woord waaruit ek leer, soos die grond op die aarde. Hier bly ek boer. Soos 'n dief in die nag sal die vyand kom, maar hier bly ek staan en ek draai nie om, want jy maak my nie bang nie. Hier bly ek boer. Die is my land waarvoor ek sal veg. Die is my bloed, my sweet, my reg. Die is die plek waar my voorvaders leef. Die is my land, hoor wat ek jou sê. Die is my land, wat my mense voer. Hier bly ek boer. Soos 'n blaasom in die somer wat vreugde bring, my oupa wat Manikiru kon sing, soos hy stap deur die lande, hier was hy boer. My wortels lê diep in die grond geplant, my seun soos my pa los ek vir jou die land, en jy hoef nie te vrees nie, hier sal jy boer. My land waarvoor ek sal veg. Die is my bloed, my sweet, my reg. Die is die plek waar my voorvaders leef. Die is my land, hoor wat ek jou sê. Die is my land, wat my mense voer. Hier bly ek boer. Die sal kom. Sal kom, die leeu 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 sal kom. Die is my land waarvoor ek sal veg. Die is my bloed, my sweet, my reg. Die is die plek waar my voorvaders leef. Die is my land, hoor wat ek jou sê. Die is my land, wat my mense voer. Die is my land, waarvoor ek sal veg. Die is my bloed, my sweet, my reg.
Alrighty, there you have it. Hier Bly Ek Boer by our resident musician, Winston Coetzee, who thankfully has got work now and he's working very hard to get his family back onto track, which is, you know, he's a wonderful man. Now, I just had a thought. Obviously, people enjoyed our discussion tonight as a community, and as I said earlier, please, if you'd like to join future discussions and you've been on the side chat or been involved with Loving Life for a while, just send me an email and send me your Skype and you can participate. And what I notice is today is the last day of April. It's the 30th of April. So I'm just thinking that perhaps what we do is at the end of each month, the last day of each month, we have a community live stream. And I think that way everybody will know exactly when it is. It's the end of each month, sort of wrapping up that month, and then we have the one. So we have 12 a year. I think that'll work really well. I'll speak to Marlena about it and see what her thoughts are. All right, guys, take care. I'll leave the side chat open for a little while, and thank you for the moderators who always do a fantastic job, and thank you for joining us. And please, if you haven't done so yet, please register on lovinglifetv.com, because I don't know how many times I have to say it. That's where we are transitioning to. So one day when Loving Life just disappears on YouTube, we'll be on lovinglifetv.com. We're not disappearing. Take care, guys, and have a great evening. And as I said just now, we'll leave the side chat open for a little while. Bye for now.